Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who wants to know, where was the Survivor Hourglass in Survivor the Amazon? I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob's Podcast Feedback Show, episode number 6. Very excited. We got a good one here for you. A lot of feedback, a lot to discuss, a lot to break down with my great friend. Of course, you can hear him on the 90 Day Fiance RHAP-up. You could hear him on the Masked Singer RHAP-up, of course, so much during the Big Brother season. Please welcome in the great Pooya Zambakili. Pooya, how are you?
Rob, I am delightful. I'm delighted to be here. This is, I would argue, the last item off my podcasting bucket list. Take it right off. I get to be on the feedback show with you and talk about arguably one of the wildest episodes of Survivor ever, in that who could have seen any of this coming? I'm so keen to dive into the nonsense that happened this week, and I'm very happy to be here.
It was a wild night on Wednesday, and we got a season high feedback questions. I guess unsurprisingly.
Well, I mean, hey, I would love to think it's because I'm here, but I know it's because of all the nonsense, and I'm very excited to dive into them.
And maybe it could be both things.
I mean, if you say so, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yes. Pooya, it's been a busy week in the last couple of days. Of course, we had the know-it-alls, Lauren, Ashley, Beck. I got so much positive feedback. People really loved having Lauren on the know-it-alls. And we'll see what next time Steven's contract is up. Maybe, maybe we have like a little bit more leverage now that we have such a great know-it-all in the wings.
Oh, yeah. And Lauren's goated. Like, we got to talk to her on the 90 Day podcast. Mm-hmm. Anywhere you see Lauren, she delivers. And it was a delight to listen to.
And as promised, she was on the Survivor CBS TikTok this week.
I love that. I mean, and I would argue that she is number one of the survivors in the TikTok scene. Present company right behind in second, in my opinion. My humble opinion.
No, I mean, there's a lot of, if we were going to if this was like a tier list Tuesday, I mean, Lauren Beck, she might be like on a planet of her own, but Kelly Wentworth, big on the Survivor True. TikTok. A couple people, Shan from this season, big on TikTok. Ricard has a TikTok following. And so there are other survivors that are doing like really great stuff on TikTok. Davey is very prolific.
Yes. Yeah. So to be clear,
I watch the most TikToks, maybe.
You consume the most TikToks.
I consume the most, like 4,000 a day.
Oof. How many hours do you think you're logging into TikTok now, Rob?
Depends how much I'm procrastinating. That's really like procrastination is my love language, Pooya. And so TikTok is like deadly in my hands.
Oh, yeah, it is very much my love language, too. Okay, then we'll just say this. Your presence on TikTok, far from the bin, but maybe not number one. How about that? We'll say that.
Yeah. Okay. So I love being on TikTok. I'm not doing a ton of, creating. I'm putting most of my energy into this podcast thing still. So great know-it-alls. And then we had a little bit of a late schedule change. Todd was scheduled to join us. He wasn't feeling up to it. So Rick Devens jumped in and had a great podcast with Rick Devens, who came in off the edge to give us a great recap this week.
Love that. Love that. Shout out to Rick for making it and delivering.
And he's from Macon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
And then Monday night, we'll be live with Mary Krakowski. Frail Mary is going to join us. And so if you want to get in on calling in, have some questions. And again, this is the week for questions. Join us live 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday night at robertswebsite.com/patron. November 1st is around the corner. Great time to jump in for should be an exciting month of Survivor podcasts in our patron podcast feed. All right, Pooya. What's been going on with you?
Rob, so Big Brother's obviously over, but like you've mentioned, I'm very busy with the Masked Singer podcast. Season 6 is back up and running. Yeah. So Leon and I have been covering that week to week. We did get 1 week off this week thanks to the World Series. We got a bye week, so we got to relax there. But 90 Day Fiance, Rob, has been firing off on all cylinders. I'm currently covering 90 Day Fiance the other way. They announced that 90 Day Fiance, The Single Life Season 2 is coming back to Discovery Plus on the 12th of November. And then 90 Day Fiance before the 90 Day season 5 is coming through on December 12th. So I'm out the wazoo with the 90 day coverage.
You got to get Gandia, where she was all about it. That I talked to Reem about 90 Day Fiance too, but Reem, she says it's not her favorite season.
Okay, well, and I have heard Gandia is very interested in talking 90 Day stuff. I did end up in a tweet thread with Gandia and Mr. Nothing But Netflix Chappelle himself. So I'm trying to see if I can get a 3-person pod for that for an episode with Gandia. That would be gold. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Pooya, it's been a minute since you were double grenaded in the premiere of the season. How's your Survivor 41 experience been?
So the Survivor 41 experience has been good. I know that, we hear the double grenade. It's like, oh man, Pooya must be having a rough go of it. No, because the very next episode, I was freed of any Nuggets obligation by, having the correct prediction that I didn't think Voce was going to win. So no 200 Nuggets for me. That's a victory. And also, Rob, if I lose, I don't mind. But if the person I have left ends up winning and I still mathematically can't win because I got grenaded, I'm okay with that.
And that's Deshaun, right? That's the other person.
It is Deshaun. Yes. Yeah. And I'm not like, scoffing at his chances at all. I think he's got a good shot.
Okay. All right. So Pooya, let's get your reaction to Wednesday night, because we're actually going to hear some different opinions about it from the listeners, but I don't know what you think yet about Wednesday night.
Okay, so this season's been very unique. Obviously, they're trying a bunch of new stuff at the start of the season. At the preseason, they said, drop the 4, keep the 1, we're starting fresh, and they meant it. They really meant it. There are glimpses of Survivor that we knew and know, and obviously the foundation is still there, but there is a lot of difference now. And dare I say, as someone who keeps up with all this stuff, pays attention to a lot of competitive reality TV, I'm able to keep up with it. But even me, I still have to rewind sometimes and look at some stuff. So it's been a little complicated. This week in particular, we were having some tech issues with our connection, so we missed when Jeff said that no one's going home. When he talked to us, the audience, we missed that on our telecast. So we ran through the episode. Oh no, I don't think anyone's leaving, because we didn't clock that. But it was fascinating, I guess is the word. But I will be honest. I will be frank. I know you're frank, but let me be frank for a second. I did not love some of the choices that were made on how the merge is going to start building up.
Yeah. Pooya, do you think would you chalk it up to that Survivor is trying to fit 39 days of stuff into a 26-day bag?
That's not a bad thought. There's definitely elements of that, right? They're like, okay, 26 days only, we need to make it jam-packed. Let's fire on all cylinders. Let's put all this stuff. But it also gives me a little bit of, maybe they had a little too much time off, and it should be like a game of poker where, you burn a card before you turn the 3. We had to burn a card somewhere, and I don't think we did, because there's a lot of things in here, and if we remove a couple, we'd be fine. There's just too much going on.
I really liked my suggestion from the patron 5 for 5, something that I brought up from the something about Mary advice of that, like maybe they should have just run a season for practice before this one, just to get some of that nervous energy out, and then made Survivor 41 the real season.
Yeah, no, I think that was very sound of you on the 5 for 5.
Just burn one before the contestants get there, and then when the contestants get there, then everybody is just nice and relaxed, and not in a crazy pace or anything like that.
Yeah, and I do think that's a bit of the core issue, where I feel again, it's we're excited to be back. Let's do all these things, and it's still, as a viewer, I'm still enjoying myself. But when I'm getting to the point where I'm head scratching, and I'm someone who's quote, tapped into a lot of the nuances of the other stuff that goes on, it can be a little much for people that might not be a lot tapped in, and them people being, the casuals of the world. So I can tell you this. I have a friend of mine who, her and I we've talked a lot about Survivor before I found RHAP, and she's more of a casual. She messaged me about 2 episodes into the season and said, "Hey, I've not started yet. Should I?" And I said, "Let me give you the heads up. There's a lot more twists this season than other seasons." And she was like, "That's why I checked out. I couldn't keep up with the twists in 40." So then I was like, "Well, give it a couple of weeks. I'll let you know again." Then it got more twisty. I was like, "Hey, maybe this one isn't for you." Yeah, she just couldn't be receptive to it. It was like, it was too much.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Going back to listen to what Jeff had to say, that I thought this was interesting. I watched the episode again this morning also. Jeff, he wasn't lying when he set this all up.
What they're about to find out is that even when you earn it, nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah. He did tell us, like, even when you earn it, nothing's guaranteed. Like, we didn't find out till later on in the episode that Erica was going to get the chance to take the immunity away from people. It was in there.
Yeah, see, this is one of those moments where I feel like the whole season starts with, this season more than any other season, you have to earn your keep. You want rewards, you have to earn the flint. If you lose the flint. There's so much earning. But when you do something like this, it makes none of it like worth. Like, I earned a thing, but I'm not allowed to keep it. Again, it's one of those elements where I feel like if you remove one piece, it would be just the right amount, but it's too much. It's like when you're loose with the salt, with the seasoning, sometimes you can overdo it with the salt. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. This meal is salty. It's too salty.
Too salty. Pooya, let's start things off then on the right foot, because I know a lot of people have been complaining about the twist. So let me highlight some of our listeners that said, "Hey, hold on a minute. Maybe this isn't so bad." Okay. Let's start things off. Let's go to one of our great listeners. It's Nathan out in San Diego. Okay. Here comes Nathan in San Diego.
So assuming that Erica does in fact smash the hourglass and change the fate of every other player in this game, who is she most likely to want to work with moving forward? It seemed like she wanted to work with Deshaun, but then he was part of the decision that sent her to exile. She also was interested in targeting Sydney. Is she going to target one of her former Luvu, or are one of those other 2 players in Evie or Ricard in trouble?
Okay.
Thanks for answering my question.
All right. So that wasn't the question that I thought it was going to be. But let's answer it.
Let's do it. So,
yeah.
Okay. So with Erica finds herself in a very interesting spot, right? Erica becomes one of 2 people who pull a gray rock, and then the one of 2 that does not get safety, the one of 2 that is now exiled for 2 days, and then the one of 2 that gets in special hourglass that you must smash, otherwise it don't count. So I feel like when it comes to Erica, she clearly realizes that there's 6 of them there. She has now realized that she might be at the bottom of the 6. I think she, in her mind, potentially, it's not exactly a bad deal to sacrifice one of your own 6 to further yourself with the new people, to, test the waters with some other people and see where you stand, especially if you're not the one of the 6 that's going. So I feel like I could see Erica potentially letting that happen and trying to find space if she does smash the glass and makes, 4 people from her old tribe now unsafe.
Yeah, I don't know who Erica is going to be targeting here. I mean, I guess it could be Sydney, and I feel like that. I wonder, going back to when Deshaun was going to throw that challenge, that was something that was set up from a couple of episodes ago. Which I sort of like a light bulb went off a little bit, that I had been Dominic had been watching some of the older episodes, and I was watching them like, oh yeah, there was like that was like the previous time we saw Erica in the season, talking about how she doesn't trust Sydney. Sydney's in the episode talking about how we have to get rid of Erica. So there is still that Sydney Erica rivalry. In this episode, Sydney is talking about how, oh, Erica would be the easy person to get rid of. Why don't we just make it an easy vote? So it feels like that we are like setting up this back and forth between the 2 of them. It would be flipped, where Sydney would be one of the people that would be vulnerable coming up this week if Erica does have any sort of pull with like the people that she saved.
Right. And I do think that if the hourglass is smashed, Sydney, you got to put some work in, otherwise you're gone. I really do think that, yeah, I do think in the battle of verses there, Erica would come out on top.
Okay. All right.
So yeah.
Well, yeah. So let me smash the hourglass and go back. I
Okay.
played the wrong voicemail from Nathan. That hopefully after I smash the hourglass, hold on.
Ooh,
let me
Nathan for 2.
Nathan for Tua. So let me see if I go to my hourglass, and let me see if I take this hourglass and let me get out my hammer. Okay. All right. Here's
What are you, Stone Cold Steve Austin?
dun, 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 dun. Good God, that's Nathan's music. Here's Nathan in San Diego.
Well, Jeff was right. The twist last night definitely seemed to ruffle some feathers, on social media especially, but I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I tune into Survivor because I want to watch people manage and steer through a social strategic game. So when twists are put in front of them, they have to figure it out. Nobody's absolutely gone because of this twist. Even if the 6 players that thought they were safe are not, they get a chance to win individual immunity. And even after that, they can still try and negotiate their way through the merge vote. So I don't really have a problem with it. Why are so many people upset? And isn't this what Survivor is all about? To mimic life and say, hey, sometimes life isn't fair, but what are you going to do about it? Thanks for taking my question.
Okay. Great question. And I'm glad we went back to get it. Pooya, what do you think about this? That Nathan is positing that basically that, I mean, isn't this the best reflection of who the best Survivor player is? Of okay, like here we're gonna throw the kitchen sink at you. Figure it out.
Yeah. So okay. So here's the thing, right? The twist is a twist, and I do agree. Games like this, you sign up. You know there's going to be elements of luck in the game. You know there's going to be elements of random things thrown your way, and you have to maneuver. Being able to maneuver, adaptability is the most important tactic or capability to have in your arsenal to navigate a game like this and get further. Now, I did see a lot of people, not really loving this. I myself didn't quite love it, but there are so many other cogs in the piece that lead us to that ending of the episode with this twist. What are those things? First of all, the tribes were decided completely at random, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 2 challenge tribes, the 2 people set out completely at random. Then you're putting the people who have won now in a position where they have to pick one or the other to send to exile. They have no idea that another shoe is about to drop. So they pick feeling confident. Okay, well, you know what? I'm safe this round, so it don't matter. I'm going to make this pick consciously. Then half the people miss on a food. Okay, I'm a big, look at me. I love to eat. I like food, okay? One of the biggest parts of Survivor is the food milestones, I call them. There is the big milestone with the merge feast, and there's the second final milestone with the big breakfast at the end of the season. Half the people now no longer get this benefit, right? They're gone. They don't get to do it. And, they just...
Should you have to earn your spot in the final 4 breakfast?
Yeah, right? And they, listen. It's like, I want to see them feast, especially when it's a season where they're getting a lot less food. Everyone that makes it there should get a little meal in them, in my opinion. So I feel like because there's so many other things that went into it, Rob, that's why a lot of people were like, well, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then also, but I do think, quite a few people, they're like, okay, Erica went through the ringer. Now she gets this opportunity to, get something good out of it. So they were happy from that regard. But I just think it was just too many things that were going in that caused this like somewhat distaste, I would say. Like the twist on its own, giving one person the opportunity to switch stuff up, it's luck of the draw. That's fine. It's just all the other things that went into it that I feel like kind of caused it to be a little, taste a little different.
Yeah. I mean, the people that won the challenge, they did get a meal. So that's good. I think that the problem that I have with it is still like you told these people they were going to be safe. And then now it's like, okay, now this is okay. Erica is going to, basically smash the hourglass and change it up. And then those people are not going to be safe. And for what?
Exactly. Because like what's going to happen now is the other 6 are now safe, right? They're not going to get a merge feast. So the food's gone there. They just get to sit out while the 6 that have been well fed now participate in a challenge and, for individual immunity. And then the remainder that remains are now part of the people that could go home. So I think ultimately that's it, is that if you're told you have safety, if you're told you have to earn your spot in the merge, then why are you making them unearn it, especially in a season like this where the earning is like a big part of the theme?
Mm-hmm. I really do like what Nathan brings up of like, I mean, isn't that life where it's not necessarily like fair? You could be like working hard and doing everything right, and then, you know, get like just like sideswiped by a bus one day, and it's like, well, that wasn't fair. That happened to you. Like, but you know, you still have to deal with any sort of like, you know, you could be doing everything right, and then all of a sudden like a pandemic comes along and throws everything for a loop. That doesn't make any sense, but it still happens.
Yes, but also then there's instances where that's not quite acceptable. For example, if I am told go through 4 years of university, complete these credits, and then you will be handed your degree by the dean, you shake the hand, you grab the degree, you leave, and I get to that stage and the dean dabs on me and yeets my degree and says, no degree for you, life's tough, then I'd be upset about it. I'd be like, but these are the rules I was told to follow. Because obviously it's, you know, with life, there are things that are structured and there are expectations there, but then there's things that you just can't plan for. And with Survivor, there's a little bit of both. There are elements of this game that happen that you cannot plan for, but then there are structures that are supposed to be solid and are supposed to be things that you need not worry about. And when you're told, you know, blue wins, and that means blue wins, that's done. Like, that is the dean shaking your hand. You can't unshake the hand and yeet the degree at that point. So it really it depends. I think depending on who you ask, the challenge is either a solid structure or it's something that could be a variable and could change as it goes.
Let's take another question on this from the great Felipe Chamot.
Robert, Pooya, my guys, what's up? It's Felipe. Here with a hot take, maybe? Besides being completely unnecessary, which I totally get, I don't really see the big issues with the twist. So maybe could y'all enlighten me? Like, it's just unnecessary to me. And honestly, my biggest issue is that the fact that we're probably going to have a 6-person finale when we could have gotten rid of someone this episode. But otherwise, like, besides being LOL worthy, what's there to like be so pressed about? I don't know. That's just my thought. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. And less than 2 to you, Pooya and Rob. Bye.
Yes. I mean, if Felipe says, what's the big deal, Pooya?
Yeah, so ultimately, you know, I can sit here and be like, I don't like it, blah, blah, blah. But it's fine. It's completely fine. I think ultimately the only thing it robs us of is a ending to an episode that would be more fun or more exciting in a tribal, because you give someone this power, right? The thing that goes unmentioned is that you're giving Erica, someone who's not safe, a power that if she does shatter it, she is now safe. So it's like, wait a week, but also if I'm Erica, I want that safety. I was just sent to exile. So it kind of robs you of the suspense. I like, if I was doing another chicken nugget bet, which I am not, I would put my chicken nuggets on Erica smashing the hourglass, and it robs us of that suspense going into the next week.
Yeah, I think that the equation for Erica is not really balanced. It's like you could be safe and send these people to tribal council. Like, I kind of feel like that she should be safe no matter what. But again, I think this is like one of these things where it's like, are we doing this for the game, or are we doing this for TV? Like, it's like we want to see those shock faces of everybody who's mad. Like, wait, I thought I was safe. This is messed up. So I'm trying to think, if you made her safe either way, and then she would have like a legitimate decision of, okay, well, do you want the people that are going to tribal council to still go, to be vulnerable, or you could flip it on its ear and switch it around? Like, I think that would be like a little bit more of like, I don't think we would know what she would do.
Right. And I mean, we think about the language that Jeff used while with Erica. There was a lot of like, so are you going to keep the game the same, or are you going to make a game-changing, legendary history? It's like, well, we know what you're going to do because this is how you're framing it.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty amazing. All right. I've got another one. All right. Okay. So the love for the twist is, you know, it's getting maybe a little bit more aggressive. Okay. Here is, let me play you from Matt.
Hey, not much of a question, but I want to talk about the pre-merge. I feel like I'm the only person on the planet who doesn't mind twists and stuff to the game in the pre-merge because it makes it more exciting. There's always been something going in every episode. Every episode has been great and engaging, and we know all the characters except Heather, and I think the merge will be back to standard Survivor gameplay as normal, and they've done a great job at entertaining us in the first 6 episodes. So, yeah, whenever I see people getting mad, the purist tears fuel me.
Do you think that Survivor Production at all twists to own the Twitters?
I mean, it's working. You know, if Survivor is fueled by the tears, similar to Matt, then they're going to be well quenched for a long time. It feels like. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Ultimately, it's the law of diminishing returns. Is there too many twists, perhaps? Because that's really where my gripe is. There's not been like one specific twist that I've had like a big problem with, but some of the twists combined with some of the other twists don't compute for me or like shouldn't be together. So it's more so there's too much potentially because yes, you know, Matt's completely right. There's been something every episode. It's been exciting. The pre-merge, I've enjoyed myself. I've had, you know, I thought they've been very fun episodes for the most part, but then there's just that it's just a little too much sometimes, you know, it's just one too many.
You don't think that there's anybody on production that has like a coffee cup that says like Reddit tears?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It will not say that, Rob. It'll say r/Survivor tier, Reddit tiers. It would be very meta like that. And unlike the Facebook meta, just regular meta.
Okay, so I just wanted to play some takes from people who are like, I try to be, you know, present, you know, a balanced case here. You know, I feel like I liked what they did with the competition to make half the people safe. And I heard Tyson say on his podcast, his idea would have been instead of having it be a team challenge, have it be individual immunity of like the 6 people who are immune, either do that or have it be a draft. You know, I think Dalton Ross said that. So I think there were some other ways that you could have like tweaked that a little bit. It's just like the last part of it where it's just like, okay, we're going to just reverse the challenge outcome for the sake of like a cliffhanger. That's the part that didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, we're on the same page. We're fully on the same page because the challenge, honestly, it looked so lopsided, right? But then they had the comeback and it looked like, oh, they might be cooking with something. But then now that doesn't matter at all, essentially, right? That's like what, 10 minutes that is gone and now had no impact. It was basically a reward challenge at this point, which again, I'm fine with, but it's the merge feast. Let everybody have a meal. Let everyone have a spoon.
I didn't know you're so into the merge feast.
To me, Rob, it's like it's milestones, right? It marks such an important, like everyone gets to chow down. And also I feel like we get a lot of good moments in a merge feast. And then this season specifically, I feel like they've told us there's not going to be many reward challenges. There's not going to be a lot of food. So this season, more than any, the food is worth gold. So I wanted everyone to be like, oh my God, we made it. All right, let me take a load off. Let me get a couple spoonfuls of this. Let me have a drink of this. I wanted that for them. And I feel like, you know, the 6 people that didn't get it are like some of the only people who've not been able to have that checkpoint. I'm all about, you know, playing games. You want to get to that checkpoint, and they were robbed of a tasty checkpoint.
Tasty checkpoint was not delivered. Okay, Pooya. So I played for you a lot of the people that were, you know, indifferent, happy, not mad at the twist. Yeah, too happy about it. But let me play for you, I guess, some people who had a very specific thing about the twist that they did not like. Let's first play this one from Zach. Zach has a question.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Pooya. So at first I was a little confused about the implementation of this advantage. Why would you have an hourglass and smash it instead of, flipping it over like you're supposed to. But then it hit me, much like a hammer. The hourglass is smashed and the sand is spilled everywhere to represent how much of our gosh dang time the show wasted this week. What even happened of consequence? What was the point? Let me know what you think of this interpretation. Thanks. Bye.
Well, first of all, Zach, let me say Matt is very much enjoying your voicemail and drinking it up big time. That's the thing, right? It's like, why does this need to be smashed? Ultimately, it's the theatrics, right? It's the theatrics of, let me bonk this hourglass and have all the sand jump everywhere. Rob, I have to ask you, how do you think it's going to work? Do you think they're going to like put out a little table for Erica and she gets to go up to the podium and put the hourglass there and then a la Gallagher just smack it in front of everybody?
Pooya, you're jumping ahead. Guys could play this voicemail from Jody.
Hi, Pooya and Rob. This is Jody from Saskatchewan. I'm just wondering what makes more sense. Erica hitting an hourglass with a hammer on Survivor, or Gallagher smashing fruit with a hammer on Big Brother?
Yeah. How about that?
Hey, Jody, we're
How
on the
about that?
same page.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to find my my Gallagher sound drops. Let's see.
Yes! What a life you lead here in the Big Brother house.
That has paid dividends for years, Rob, and no sign of stopping either.
Yes. Okay. Should Jeff have given Erica a watermelon?
Ooh, I mean, they could then eat the remains. That would be great. I feel like glass on the sand, not a great idea unless it's like a cleared spot. So with watermelon splash zone, I'm fine.
I don't know. Glass is made of sand, no?
Yes.
So
I believe
sort of
so.
like a full circle moment for the glass.
Do you think that's what they were trying to do? The duality of glass and sand?
Okay. How about this? How about this one, Pooya? This is another one about the hourglass. This is from Chris.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Pooya. This is Chris Whitaker. I wanted to talk about all the great twists we've had so far this season. We have the die you can't roll. We have the hourglass you can't flip. And my question is, what twist would you put in the game that use items improperly? Happy Halloween. You guys are amazing. Bye.
Hi, Chris. I mean, do you think, is this the theme of like, okay, here's the dice. Oh, you roll it? No. Put it in the volcano. Like, here's an hourglass. Oh, you turn it? No. Smash it.
I feel like a watch that can't tell time is a good one. That could be one we could use. Like headphones where the wire is clipped and you can't use the headphones. Basically, any functioning item that is not going to be put in the right use would be a shout. But what else could they use that would be like, you could see on the show? Because obviously, like, they're not going to have headphones on the show.
How about like a drum that you fill up with water?
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Or a violin, but they give you a drumstick instead of like the violin.
What do you do with it?
Why do you play it and then you're safe for 2 rounds, but then someone has to leave, and then one third person gets to sit and watch them leave while eating. Like I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the hourglass that travels through time. So let me play a little bit of this setup from Jeff.
This is an hourglass.
Okay.
Black sand at the bottom of this hourglass represents the time that has already passed. This is the history of what has happened in the game.
Okay.
If you want, you can leave the game in its natural state, and the events that have happened. What is. That's our history.
Yeah. Okay.
Or if you want, you can go back in time and change history.
Pooya, is it going back in time?
It's more so erasing time, right? At best, because you're not really going in reverse. You're just you're erasing what had happened and rewriting a new one. So you're not necessarily going back, because the going back would entail they literally, like, everyone, and this might be a fun scenery, would have been if they all show up and it's that same reward chat, like the same challenge with the boulders again. Like, we just did this. Like, well, little do you know, Erica reversed time. We're now back where you were
it's
before.
Day 12 again.
Exactly. Like, that is reversing time. That actually might be fun to get the reaction. Like, wait, how do we get back here? So that would be reversing time. This, not so much.
Yeah, it's more like sliding doors of like we're going into like a different reality.
Right. Like an alternate reality, and not so much the same timeline that we are now changing.
Like Doctor Strange was here.
Yes. And he opened 3 new realities, and now 3 villains from the previous seasons are back on the beach once again to compete. Wow, that would be wild.
That would be wild. Yeah. I really thought they were going to bring in the players from the pre-merge.
Genuinely, I thought that was happening. I was like, oh my God, the chicken nuggets are back on the table, but I'm also not double grenaded. Like, I'm going through the emotions right now. Ultimately not to be.
You know what did irk me about the hourglass then? At the end of the episode, this part really made my head explode.
How much time do I have to think about that?
Tomorrow morning before you leave the beach, you got to make your decision.
No, you have the hourglass. You have an hourglass. How much time do I have? Turn it over. That's your time. Smash it. Smash it now before the sand runs out. That's it.
Wouldn't that have been a great sign off? Like, cool guys don't look at hourglasses, where Jeff goes, this much time, flips it, and just walks away.
That was it. It was right there.
Yeah.
How much time do I have to think about that?
Tomorrow morning before you leave the beach, you got to make your decision.
Oh, okay.
So it's not even getting to do it in front of people. She has to do it alone. That's, again, then what's the point of smashing it? I make a statement, smash it in front of everybody, or do it now in front of Jeff.
Yeah. Or tell me right now.
Missed opportunity. Do you think Jeff just didn't want to be in the splash zone with the glass?
I don't know. Maybe it could have been like, all right, I'm going to back up. You make your decision. Here you go. Yeah. I mean, do you need a mallet to smash an hourglass? That seems like overkill, no?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little scared to do it because I'm in the splash zone.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm not about that.
Right. I mean, JD talked about, if you drop your crystals, I'm pretty sure if you drop that hourglass on a rock, that's your mic drop moment. Yeah.
But you have a hammer you have to use now. If you don't use the hammer, I don't think it counts, sadly.
So, okay. Let's check in with one of our listeners. It's Michael with the beard has a question for us. Okay. Here's Michael with a beard.
Hey, Rob and Pooya. This is Michael with a beard, longtime listener, first-time caller. And I have a question about the storytelling this season. Do you think that it's possible that the editors are trying to create a show that's great on a streaming binge more than, say, on a week-to-week basis, with a couple episodes being so advantage-focused and this last episode having a cliffhanger? It feels like it's kind of meant to be a season that you watch all at once. Is that just me? And if you think it is being made for a binge, is that new this season, or do you think they've been doing that for a while? Love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
Okay. Pooya, well, what do you make of this? That now Survivor on Netflix became very popular. That happened, I think, in December of 2020. We had this season film in March, I believe, of 2021. Do you think that this season is being produced any differently for a future binging audience?
See, I don't know, right? Because the storytelling, specifically talking about storytelling, I think, they're doing a good job. And I know a lot of people have talked about this with giving us some of the backstories of people. With this episode, we saw some of Erica's backstory, some of the, the videos, the pictures from like before Survivor. That's been great to help us understand the people. However, the pacing of the show, I don't think is kind to a binge. I think because of how heavy the episodes are with all these twists and all the quick moving parts, you need the 1 week marinade to like really just soak up everything and really, okay, now I know where we are moving forward. Like genuinely, I feel like I talk about this, but when watching a show like Squid Game, where I'm clearly trying to focus on the subtitles and I have to only divide my have undivided attention on it, I think I would understand Squid Game more on a binge, not looking at the subtitle even, than some of this Survivor season. Because if I miss it, I've had to go back and look at it, and I've not really had to do that before with a lot of other Survivor seasons.
Yeah, I think that this particular twist would play a lot better on a binge because you're not waiting a week for the hourglass. It's like, this happens and then it's like, okay, 5 seconds later, Eric is smashing the hourglass, and it's not the frustrating waiting game that we're having to play this week. But I do think that the downtime that we have between the episodes, which has sort of like been the lifeblood of Rob Has a Podcast, of sort of like, there is a week in between the episodes. We close the chapter of the book, and then we have a whole week to discuss and to think and to talk about what just happened. That I kind of feel like that the less it makes sense, the more it plays on a binge.
The less it makes sense, the more it plays on a binge.
Yeah, because I think that when you have a week in between, you have a lot of time to say, boy, that really didn't make sense. Why did they do that? But when the next episode is just starting, I think it's a little bit more of a vibe than, thinking, every single decision. Like, yeah, that was stupid. Why did they do that?
Right. So you're saying like if someone, not like one of like us that's been watching if someone new pulls up to Paramount Plus and just starts the season, let's say in March, they will enjoy it more because they're not sitting there and like trying to analyze something complicated that they're like, oh, this maybe didn't fit here. This didn't really work, because they don't have that time. They're just going into the next thing immediately. I mean, it will be all fireworks, right? I mean, if you're watching this on a binge 6 episodes in, you're like, damn, this has really been all hits, no misses. So I do see that. I can understand that point now.
Like more of a popcorn movie than something like something you're gonna stop down and like if you go see like a action movie, you go see like you're not gonna like be like, wait, hold on, that doesn't really make sense. Why did Thanos do that? It's just like, okay, you're there for the ride, and I think that this comes through in the way that Jeff talks about the show, where Jeff did an interview with Dalton Ross this past week, and he talks again about the monster. He says, for future players and maybe for viewers, I can't scream this loudly enough. The game is a monster. This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a metaphor. Well, yeah, I mean, like, what do you mean by that? This isn't just a catchy phrase. It's a metaphor. Yeah, no, we got it. We got that. You cannot waste time being frustrated because you don't like a twist. It's wasted and misplaced energy. You must continue to assess and adapt to everything that happens in the game, from changing alliances to bad weather to lack of food to historic twists. Every minute of every day. If you don't, the monster will devour you. And I think that this is the message of the show to the audience too, that it does not matter if you do like or do not like the twist. We're moving on.
You know what vibe it gives me? It gives me The Rock of like, do you like this twist? It doesn't matter if you like this
It
twist.
happened.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. I mean, I think that's it. I mean, is that not the same vibe as like, you could tweet me, but I'm probably not going to read it anyway?
Yeah, it's like, I don't care. You have what you have. This is dinner. The dinner. Like, you're not getting anything else. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's Survivor's gonna Survivor.
Yeah. I mean, and listen, if we didn't have things to pick on or analyze or debate, then we wouldn't have all these podcasts to listen to and to break down. So win, we win, we move, it works.
Yeah.
For that reason.
Okay. All right. So, Pooya, let me then give you a question about some specific players in this season. Let's check in with our great friend, great caller, Megan, the librarian.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Pooya. This is Megan, the librarian, calling. So, Pooya, I want to talk about how our fellow Canadians are doing on the show this year. First of all, could you believe Shan mentioned Liana's advantage in front of Tiffany? What the heck? I was very shocked. Second, how about Erica with the time turner thing? Is it a wise idea to give a Canadian so much power? What do you think she's going to do? Hey, thanks. Bye.
Pooya, have you been impressed? Look at the Canadian survivors at the center of everything this week.
I'm not mad at it, Rob. Well, up until the two of them, we've had one Tom Laidlaw who really gave us nothing. So this leaves us with Shan and with Erica. Shan has been a absolute delight to watch. Such a great character, such a great player. Does Shan have moments where Shan's doing a lot? Yes, but also Shan's trying to escape this monster that's been coming at her every tribal. So it's a lot to go with Shan. As far as Erica goes, I think we've already discussed that. I think Erica's gonna Gallagher the hell out of that hourglass. It's happening, in my opinion. That leaves us with Shan. I was surprised that Shan brought that up in front of Tiffany, but I also think that it is a great indicator of with Shan, it's always like, her mind's always moving. She's always thinking next step, this, that, let me get all the elements. Let me make sure everything's on the same page. So I don't think she quite cared that Tiffany was there or noticed it. She just had to talk to Liana about it immediately. And it's fine. I think it's fine. I think if anyone can maneuver it, it is Shan. But it has been delightful. And, I've been loving seeing Canada represented like this. It's been great.
Okay. I do have another question for you about the Canadian survivors. But I did have another question for you about Shan since we are on this subject. And so let me play that one for you. This is from one of our callers. Ben has a question.
What's up, Rob and Pooya? This is Ben Wilgoss. I've been a patron for a little while. This is my second time calling in, but I had a question based around something that Lauren Beck said last night on the Know-It-Alls, and I thought it was kind of interesting. She talked about how when Shan revealed to Tiffany and Liana about Liana having the advantage, she thought that was something that was a pure example of having no rice and no food for the last 12 days. I want to know, Rob, as someone who's played Survivor, do you think that is the case, or do you think that was just a messy move? And, this season we've seen so much information sharing, I think more than usual. And I want to just know if you think that is because of the diet that they're on, or is that just them being caught up in the whole, you got to move fast because the monster is coming, stuff that Jeff keeps talking about, or if they're just messy players and that's kind of just how it is. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.
So this is a good question. Just like thinking that through about the Shan thing with Leon, is it possible, and I don't want to get to galaxy brain here, but Pooya, is it possible that was Shan basically trying to say hey, Leon, oh, you have the advantage, right? Everybody knew that Shan and Liana went to Shipwheel Island. Was Shan trying to potentially lower her threat level with Tiffany by saying hey, Liana, you have that advantage, right? It's I don't have an advantage. Don't be gunning for me at this tribal council where I'm going to be one of the 6 people vulnerable right now. I don't want to have to play my idol.
Yeah, I think it's a combo platter of things. I definitely think that was part of it. You come in, not only do you show that I have nothing, but you also show, listen, I'm a kind-hearted person. I just gave someone else a advantage. I think that, Shan could have maybe thought, maybe Liana has already shared this with Tiffany because a lot of people have been sharing a lot of info. So that could have been like a gamble there. I think a little bit of it also goes in that whole energy of, trying to keep up with the monster, the show, the theme, the game, trying to stay 2 steps ahead of everybody. So I think it was a lot of stuff going on at once. And if I'm in a position where half the tribe is now safe, or half the people are safe. The other half that aren't safe, I'm in them, and I'm also with new people that I've never talked to. I'm immediately going to try and like make myself seem as less of a target as possible. So I feel like you put all this together, then you put it in someone who is strategic and is trying to think the game like Shan is, but also someone who, you know, has definitely been vocal about having some emotions about people in the game, and like, you know, battling the strategic side of you versus like maybe the emotional side of you of like dealing with this game that's a very heavy game. I feel like Shan was just going through a lot of things at once. So
Yeah.
I think that you can see a little bit of everything that went on there.
And so as to are the conditions really like making the people weaker than they might be in a normal season? I mean, it is only day 13, and like there have been other Survivor seasons where players, I mean, Sophie talked about how in South Pacific they didn't have any food whatsoever. I mean, Shan ended up she was one of the people that, and I seen this again the other day, that Nathan came, so that they had like a gigantic meal of fish from a couple days ago. I mean, that doesn't last for like a week, but you know, they got something. So I don't think that's necessarily like that we could be saying that, you know, any of the players are like that they're just like completely like brain dead here on day 13 because of the conditions.
Right. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's like they're just overly messy. I think it's just the pace of the game is quick. And I think, you know, in that position, trying to immediately get some safety and trying to, because like Shan literally is dropped into a tribe where the only other person she knows that's still in the game that she's been with for 12 days is on the other side and safe. So Shan has to immediately try and like find a landing spot. And I think, you know, goes over here and try and set that up.
I think it's more, there's a lot going on for them too. It's a lot for them to keep up with.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me go back to, I said I wanted to go back to talking about some of the Canadian players. And so I have a question for you specifically, Pooya. This is from Paolo. Here's Paolo.
Hi, Rob. Hi, Pooya. This is Paolo calling from Toronto here in Canada. My question is for Pooya specifically. Pooya, I was really excited when Rob revealed that you were going to be the guest host for the voicemail podcast this week. How cool is it that we finally get some Erica screen time, and this is her breakout episode? We find out her backstory, that she is the child of immigrant parents. I know that that story resonated with me and resonated with a lot of people. And I know that you have a similar background to her as well. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I feel like she represented a lot of people in that moment. Also, what is the over or under with Erica saying sorry when she finally, crossing my fingers, breaks that hourglass? I would love to hear your thoughts. Big fan from your Big Brother podcasts. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Pooya, very nice words from Paolo. Do you think, will Erica apologize for breaking the hourglass?
At least twice. I would put at least twice. I think more so than most people. Be like, I'm sorry I have to do this. I'm sorry I made this decision, but I'm changing time. I'm reversing time. I do think we're gonna get a little bit of that. Like, I love the story. I love that they've adapted this, adding the backstory to everyone. It really gives you more of where they came from and what their motivations are and what wires them to play a game like this. So I definitely have appreciated. I feel like this is something that we get as podcast listeners in the preseason, right? We get all we listen to the interviews and stuff, so we get this ourselves. But to see it play out on the show live, it serves as a good refresher of, hey, this is where they came from, this is their background, this is why they're fueled to do it this way, and what they're playing for, what they're trying to win. So I do appreciate that a lot, and I did love Erica's backstory.
Yeah. She said her time in the game is a love letter to her parents. Came from the Philippines.
Yeah. No, I love that so much. And you know, the beauty of seeing someone like Erica on here, it does speak to, you know, people who have parents who have moved in from another country and have started fresh and you know, they devote everything for their kids. They do everything. I mean, my origins, my parents are Iranian. I was born and raised in Dubai, and they moved there with a hope that they could build a better future for us. And then when I grew to like 18, my dad did everything he could to make sure I could go to Canada for university because he wanted me to have a better future for myself. And you know, have a better future than maybe he had. So I definitely love seeing stuff like this because it does serve as a reminder of like, you know, they are literally real people and they've gone through very similar things to other people. And, you know, it's just heartwarming. So.
You know, something that, you know, like I had not really thought about, you know, I didn't, you know too many Canadians in like my like time like on Long Island, even when I was going to college in upstate New York. But it really wasn't until I started watching Big Brother Canada, where they really like did a great job, like all through the history of Big Brother Canada, like really focusing on like all the diverse people who you know, moved to Canada from, you know, other parts of the world. And just like as an American, like that was just something that like I had never really thought about too much of just like, you know, just how diverse, you know, Canada is.
It's incredible. Like I remember when I moved, I was very nervous. I was like, I'm going to be in an environment where I'm going to feel like an outsider. I'm going to feel like I'm new. You know, it's going to be like a culture shock. It wasn't. I came in, I met people that came from similar backgrounds to me. I met people from all brand new backgrounds. And it was just so lovely to, you know, meet and be educated on so many cultures and so many backgrounds at the same time, all whilst, you know, under this new age and like setting up this new like being Canadian of it all too. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And like that's why I've said this before, I'll say it again. Canada became home to me after like a year. And I'd lived in Dubai my whole life. I just felt more, I connected more with Canada than I ever had anywhere else in my life.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you, and I don't have a specific voicemail about this, but of course, this summer on Big Brother, we saw the cookout and how, if anybody is not a Big Brother fan, there was an alliance of the 6 black players in the Big Brother house. They made what started out as sort of like just like a agreement to then like, okay, let's all make the jury. So then eventually they sort of like locked in that they were going to have a final 6, and they had like a very elaborate plan where they were going to have partners and be able to, you know, you basically like coerce their partners if they ever got HOH to do the bidding of the cookout. This week, we got to see the 4 black players who are in the game talk about working together. I wanted to know, and especially because you know, some of your comments specifically about the cookout ended up going viral over the summer. I wanted to know what you thought about this alliance.
I'm delighted. I love this. I mean, you know, it was last year where we had no Survivor, and there was a diversity campaign that was, you know, built on the back of a lot of former players who, you know, voiced their concerns and said this is a change that needs to happen. And this is now the first season of Survivor since then that they've initiated it with the diversity program. And it's lovely to see, you know, we just talked about so many backgrounds. It's lovely to see so many people from different walks of life, so many, you know, but then it's a whole other thing to see people who you recognize as, you know, oh, this is someone who might have gone through something I've gone through. And to get 4 people on the show who can look at each other and be like, you know, historically, we've not had good odds in games like this. Let's look out for each other. Let's look out for each other and let's work together. And we saw this happen on Big Brother. It was incredibly uplifting. They literally put their game aside to make sure that in the future, someone could look back and be like, oh, that's someone who I relate to is now a winner of the season. We're like, and with Big Brother, there was no black winner. Aside from obviously we had from Celebrity Big Brother 2, Tamar had won. But long form season, we had never had that. It literally Big Brother Canada and Big Brother US both in the same year it happened. So I loved it. I see this and I'm happy. I'm happy they found each other. I'm happy they can, you know, like that's someone who I can work with. That's someone who, you know, comes from my background. I like that. I like that they're protecting each other and working together. I recognize the internet's going to internet. So I know that there's the rough seas ahead with some of the perceptions of how people are going to take this alliance. But
yeah,
I would say, you know, there's some education that needs to be had there.
and I don't even want to say like the internet is going to internet, like there is like a subset of people who are like talking about these types of political issues on
Right.
their social media platforms of choice to begin with, and it's like another thing. But like, can these people even get to one tribal council first before there are complaints started? Like, they haven't even voted yet.
Rob, there wasn't even like, it was 1 minute of a 42-minute show. Like, more minutes were given to a
Oh my
reward that
God.
doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
it's been nothing yet. We've seen nothing. All we've seen is 4 people be like, let's work together. That's it. We don't even know the dynamics properly. We don't know who's tighter with who. None of that. We have nothing yet. And if you're up in arms already, the mirror, friend, use the mirror, please.
Right. I mean, when Danny is talking about like, this idea, like this makes my heart sing, like this is like coming from like a very positive place, like for people to get like so knee jerk of that they're gonna get mad about this when there are other things to be mad about, like the hourglass.
The hourglass that you can't flip for the time. That you have to smash to activate.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see where that goes. I have a question for you. This is from Sarah. Has a question for you, Pooya. And here comes Sarah.
Hey, Pooya and Rob. Really excited to hear your take on this historic episode this week. I'm wondering who Pooya is rooting for now that he's grenaded out of it, both in the draft, who he wants to win the draft, and also in the show. Can't wait to hear you guys. Bye.
Okay. Pooya, do you have a new favorite that after, or are you just all in on Deshaun?
No, so I like Deshaun, so that works, right? I like Deshaun, and Deshaun's still there, even though I can't win the draft. If he wins, I'm happy. As far as whose teams I'm rooting for, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I like Liana's team a lot, obviously, and that's not just bias speaking. Liana has Shan on her team, so that's easy pickings for me. I also like Chappelle's team. I really like what I'm seeing from Evie and Ricard, so hoping both of them can do well. But I think ultimately I am rooting for Deshaun and Shan are like my top two that I'm looking at right now. And obviously my guy Nasir, I'm loving everything we're seeing from Nasir, and I'm very much enjoying his presence on the show.
Yeah. Nasir is just a phenomenon.
Yeah. And like, for me, I relate to him so hard when he talks about how he learned English watching Survivor. A lot of the English language I picked up was watching just, sitcoms and stuff growing up on TV, because I went to an Iranian school, so I didn't really have an English speaking education for quite a few years. So that's where I picked up a lot of it. So I definitely do love that from Nasir. And I just love that he's on the show. Like,
what sitcoms?
I watched, so there was like a specific channel that would give us, whatever they picked. And it was like a block of 2 hours. And it was, the first one was Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Then it would go into Full House.
Yes.
Then it would go into my personal favorite, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yes.
So those were the three. And then they changed the fourth one. The fourth one used to be Malcolm in the Middle. Then it got changed to 8 Simple Rules. And those are the shows. Those were the ones that I watched. And, it helped big time. Learned a lot. And, now I'm sitting here speaking the way I speak. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, and honestly, that's what helped. And I learned from a young age that I picked up accents quite quickly. Like when we would visit my dad's family in the specific city in Iran, I would pick up their accent after 2 weeks. So it helped with my English language development because I just kept watching these shows. And then when we started, because in my Iranian school, we did have English as a second language, I was top of my class just because I kept watching English content for the most part. And then it helped my transition when I tried to go from Iranian school to English school. I did it seamlessly because I had built it up again through TV and music is where I was able to retain all of it. So it was great.
Out of those shows that you mentioned, was any one of them particularly instructive?
Instructive, no. It was interesting because they were all somewhat different, right? With Saved by the Bell, it's like a high school set up, so you're learning a little bit different there. With Full House, like they're all kids and it's like a more of a parental situation. So I felt like with every show I got a little bit of kind of what kind of language is used where, and how is it structured. And like with Fresh Prince, a lot of my roasting I learned from there. A lot of
roasting.
The Will and Carlton beef was always great. And I was like, okay, so this is how I can mess with someone without being too mean. Okay, gotcha, noted. So it was, it was fascinating. It was fascinating to learn language through these shows. So again, it's when I see Nasir and Nasir says he found it through Survivor, I love that.
Let me play a question for you from Dino. Wants to know about what is going on with Xander.
Hey, Rob and Pooya. This is Dino from Cagayan de Oro, Philippines. I'd like your thoughts on Xander, because in the first 5 episodes, the narrative has always been, aside from his advantages or votes, it's always been Liana trying to get him out, or the girls trying to get him out. However, in this last episode, there are 2 particular scenes where I think that his place in the game is getting better, because first, Tiffany seems like she's going to save, she's going to be working with Xander. And the second one is one with Nasir, when he said, I got your back, I got your back. So what are your thoughts on Xander's future in the game? Thanks.
I like what you said in that voicemail.
I'm very shocked by Xander. I feel like Xander, Liana, JD, they all were coming in as the young 20s, early 20s rather. And I kind of thought they're going to have a hard time with all this. Xander's been great. I feel like Xander's been able to hold himself down relatively well. I did enjoy Rob Xander's, coming up with these new words was great. Mergatory is a phenomenal word.
Yes. Okay. Well, hold on. I have an update on that. So yeah, that Xander.
I haven't even made it to the merge yet. I mean, this is like mergatory.
Mergatory. That being said, that we got a message from Tiffany Seeley. At Tiffany, just to give a little sneak preview to our Survivor social media. But at Tiffany Seeley let us know that she actually was the person who coined mergatory, not Xander.
I can't believe Tiffany's raging it. Like, I said it first. It's mine.
Yes. So I have on good authority that it's Tiffany who came up with mergatory.
Well, Xander, can't give you credit for that now, can I?
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany, I love it. Mergatory should be part of the vocabulary moving forward. And if this twists like this do continue, it will be coming up handy for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, this is from Tiffany from October 27th. She says, that was my word, LOL. I made it up. So sad. LOL.
So sad. LOL. Now, did Xander reply? Did Xander say anything back or just nothing?
I didn't like what you said about me taking your word. I don't think so. I didn't see it. It wasn't in my mentions.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Tiffany, she's chatty on social media and in the game.
Yeah, I love that. And Tiffany's one of the ones as well where her TikTok just randomly showed up on my For You page this past couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go?
It was good. It was fun. It was a pleasant surprise.
Okay. Pooya, okay. Let me give you this one from Connor.
Okay.
Here's Connor. Buffering. You refresh this page.
Hi, Rob and Pooya. I was just thinking, we haven't seen any product placement this far in Survivor 41, whether it be Applebee's or Outback or, anything of the like. And I was just wondering, how do you think Jeff pitches an endless margarita at Applebee's in the most dangerous season of Survivor? Is there like a new twist about the danger of eating a quesadilla burger from Applebee's? I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I love Applebee's.
Yeah, congratulations to Karishma, by the way, who's expecting her and her husband expecting a baby. So congratulations to Karishma. So, Pooya, do you think that they'll have to change up the product placement at all?
I don't think so. I don't think they could. Like, there's no world where any food advertisers are going to want their food to sound dangerous, right?
No.
Whether it's dangerous for you or dangerous on the way out. They don't want that to be part of the advertising slogan whatsoever. So definitely not.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, it's got to be like a specific product, but no, I think that's where Jeff will take the foot off the gas on the danger.
I'm more concerned with just that. I feel like that they are confused on how like a common objects would work, where it's like, all right, we've got right here this piping hot box from Domino's. You and your tribe, all you have to do is get the box and then fold it in half and fold it in half again. And then you're like, wait, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, don't do it like that, please.
Yeah. So I think they'll be fine, but again, I don't know if they're gonna necessarily have too many like cush rewards here in this season.
Doesn't sound like it, or doesn't feel like it, rather. Yeah. So I wouldn't worry about that. We're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Okay. I got one more voicemail to play for you, and then we'll do some social media. This comes from Meta Ted. Not sure if this is used to be Ted from Facebook, but this is Meta Ted.
Hey, Rob, and all the wonderful RHAP-ers out there. It is the great Meta-Ted from Houston, Texas, coming at you with my comment of the week, which is, of course, my commentary in the form of a question. Now, Jeff has hyped this season as the most dangerous Survivor game yet, and he really made his point this week with the Nicki Minaj's cousin-sized gigantic bone-crushing ball. So, what sort of contestant endangering fun do you think Jeff has in store for the upcoming episodes? I'll take my answer off the air.
Did Meta Ted really just drop a Nicki Minaj's cousin-sized balls reference on us?
Yeah, I forgot about it. And I was like, what is this reference? I was like, oh, I saw that tweet. Okay, all right. Meta Ted, may I suggest meditate? Maybe, Ted? Wow.
I did like try to craft a tweet about the idea of there being no Survivor vote out this week and the giant blue ball. Like I tried to conflate those two thoughts together. I thought better of it, Meta Ted. Not everything has to turn into has to be said.
I mean,
Meta
I guess, yeah, Meta Ted. Okay, I feel like
you didn't have to go there.
You didn't. But if you were, let me workshop that tweet, Rob. You get a screen cap of the balls, the two balls, and you Photoshop the second one blue as well, and then you caption it, "Getting to the end of the episode without anyone getting voted out." #Survivor. Boom.
Yeah,
likes,
there you go.
Retweets. There you go.
Boom.
Nailed it.
Boom. I think that one's for Brian Scally. He can take that one.
He got this. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I got lost in the ball. What was the question?
What other dangerous things could they do to the contestants?
Oh my god. I don't. My mind is in the gutter right now. I can't pick it back up. Sadly, I don't think I can compute.
Could we go to just talk about that challenge though? So they have to dig out the giant ball. And tell me, did you like what Jeff had to say here?
This gives new meaning to one of my favorite phrases. You gotta dig deep.
Does it give new meaning to "you gotta dig deep"?
It's the same meaning. He did say it a little. He said dig deep. He said a little different. He went
deep
deeper on the
voice.
Yeah,
deep voice. Yeah. That would it have been better? Can we workshop that? Should Jeff say like, hey, "You gotta dig deep"? Literally.
You don't want to drop a literally. I feel like that's not the way to go. A thing I like to do is I'll say something like, as a wise poet once said, dig deep, and I'm the poet, so it's funny because I'm not really a poet or a philosopher. So if Jeff was like, as a wise philosopher once said, you gotta dig deep. It's like, oh, that's Jeff talking about Jeff.
I feel like that. I
Meta.
can see like TJ Lavin saying that.
I could see that, and I like that. That's a good style. I'll be about that. Yeah.
Okay. People wanted us to talk about this when Erica and Nasir were chosen.
Okay.
Danny had some logic. He explained why they ended up picking Erica.
All right, before you tell me, what was the thought process for your decision?
Paper, rock, scissors.
Really?
It's our tribe mates, and it's hard to.
Jeff is incredulous. Really? Paper, rock, scissors. Really?
It's our tribe mates, and it's hard to choose. And
so rock, paper, scissors.
Ah.
Yeah.
Jeff, come on. You knew what he meant. You didn't need to do him like that.
Are the rules different to play when you play
paper, rock, scissors?
Only if the order of the words being said is like the new ranking. So it's paper, rock, scissors, right? Paper covers rock, that works. Rock hits scissors, that still works. So it like that ruling works. It's in alphabetical order, right? So that's probably what Danny was doing, just kind of go in order.
I was thinking when it comes to when we're talking about
paper, rock, scissors.
I was wondering, like, could they give like Erica like a rope of like, okay, like this cord represents the timeline. Here we have these scissors. Okay, we're gonna leave them here for you. And what we want you to do, if you want to change the timeline, get a rock and smash the scissors to represent destroying the timeline.
I mean, that would be a way to go about it because you're using rock, paper, scissors wrong, which is what we're talking with the theme of the season. The dice don't
paper,
roll.
rock, scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe is this Survivor paper, rock, scissors?
I mean, it is now. Because what would the Survivor equivalent be of this season, right? We have hourglass dice. What's the third thing? Ship's wheel. Yeah.
Ship wheel.
Dice, ship wheel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what order that works in. But.
Yeah. Too bad that Too bad that Danny couldn't have said paper, scissor, rock. Because that would have been some like a nice and that could have been the season like a Survivor paper, scissor, rock. It would have been like a lot of like hashtag PSR. Would have been like some good publicity for post show recaps.
That's true. The synergy would have been real, and then eventually you could have a Survivor paper versus scissor versus rock. You're like, all right, so in one tribe we've got people who use paper in their day-to-day life. We got accountants, we got businessmen. On the scissor tribe we have tailors and fashion designers, and then on the rock tribe we have construction workers, miners, and that's right, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's third cousin removed also on this season.
But yeah, I like where you're going. I think that maybe we're being like a little too literal. Like I think we made it like a figurative. Like these are the people that they're like that they are they are frail. They work. They like are that they work. They write. But they're very like it's like okay, like you're writers and people that are like putting pen to paper. But the people that are scissors, they are sharp. They are like a tack. They are not just people who work with scissors. And then the rock, these are like your like tough as nails brawn tribe of people of that's the rock tribe. Or people that are in a band.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Yes,
that
the
wants
drummers.
to rock. And we do know that I can tell you that Jeff Probst does love to rock. And I can tell you that because Jeff Probst told Dalton Ross this week that he just got back from a rock concert when he answered his questions.
Did he say who?
Yeah,
Who did he go see?
He did. Yes, he did. Here, let me give me a second, and I will go ahead and I will let me bring that up for you because I think it's worth mentioning, and I'm glad that we didn't skip over it. So Dalton Ross, that I mentioned earlier, talks to Jeff some weeks about what's going on, and Jeff got back to Dalton and said, "Let me just start by saying I returned from watching Greta Van Fleet at the Greek Theater in Los Angeles, so I'm a bit amped up. They rocked it so hard. The sold-out house was on fire. I was really impressed. There is no doubt about it. Rock is alive and well. So with that in mind, let me transition into Survivor." What a plug for Greta Van Fleet.
Out of nowhere. Yeah, Jeff's a big fan, and he went full plug. That's very, very big on the plug there. Like, really did not expect Jeff to be rocking and rolling like this. But
Greta
look at
Van
him.
Fleet, yeah. And so you have to check in with Uncle Kiwi to see if he has listened to any of the latest albums from Greta Van Fleet.
I mean, honestly, yeah, it's time. Okay, Keeve, I know this is not it's not a non-Survivor podcast, but I'm getting big like balls from the Survivor Challenge when Keeve doesn't talk about music. Just give us one podcast, Keeve. We're waiting. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know Greta Van Fleet from Greta Van Susteren.
I mean, I'm looking at them now. They're active from 2012 to now, so I've not heard of them either.
Is Greta Van Fleet the name of the band, or is that the is that a singer?
No. It looks to be the name of the band. It consists of brothers Josh, Jake, and Sam, and then Danny. So it's brothers. It's a band of brothers. I immediately thought of Fred Van Vliet, but that's a different person and a basketball player. So
Vliet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was from when I used to watch the Raptors games.
It's good times, Rob.
Yeah.
It was good times.
So Pooya, could Greta Van Fleet be on the Rock Tribe?
I don't see why not. You get like Jake and Sam in there, maybe little Danny. I don't know any of them, but I think they could do it. Question about our new season, Rob, of Paper, Scissors, Rock.
Yes.
Is it okay? So then, is it a situation where if someone from the former, when they're merged from the former Paper tribe, if they vote out a person from the Rock tribe, it's like a greater vote, like they get more votes because Paper covers Rock.
Okay,
Is that a
it's
situation?
interesting.
Yeah.
So if in a tie vote in this season,
yes,
if there's like, okay, how many Paper, how many Rock, how many Scissors? Okay, so if it's like 2-2. Paper covers Rock. Sorry, I've spoken.
Exactly.
I love this. Look, this is better than anything with the Hourglass or Shipwheel Island.
Oh yeah, we're killing it here. Yeah, take it for free.
Should Danny get to come back?
Yes, because he created it. He started
Paper, rock, scissors.
Yes. Is it sort of like, does he have like a statue on like the Island of the Idols, or is he just part of the Rock tribe?
I think he would be part of the Rock tribe. I think he has to be back on the season himself as the creator, as the pioneer.
Okay. All right. So there you go. All right. Pooya. Let me see. Oh, I had one other thing that I wanted to play for you from the episode. This was I like this. Nasir, he was so excited about what was going on in this episode.
I feel like I'm doing really good in this game now.
Woo! Yeah. Got like the Ric Flair yell.
Woo!
I like that.
He is the nature boy of this season,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that works.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
And then I haven't turned this into a TikTok yet, but I'm debating. Let's see how the afternoon goes. That this is going to be called. So this is from Erica when she's on Exile Island, and the caption is "When I get socks for Christmas."
This one looks promising. Oh, it's water.
That's an ace TikTok. I love that. Oh, that's perfect.
That's the audio version.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, this looks promising." It's just like, "Oh, it's water."
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on where you are. Water, not the greatest gift.
Right. If you're expecting anything else, right? It's like if I'm like, "Ooh, I can have any drink I want." Oh, the drink is water.
I think also, when you are like starving for 12 days and you pull up onto like a big pot and it's like, oh, let's take the lid off. What is this? Chili? Oh, it's water.
Would that be your number one item you want in a pot when you've been hungry? Is chili?
Not necessarily, but I've been looking for like sustenance.
It's hearty. Yeah, that's true.
It's hearty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk some social media, Pooya. And
Let's do it.
I am very honored to bring in a brand new intro from the maestro of Survivor social media. It's the great Jacob Sager Weinstein.
Instagram. Yes, baby. Tweets for a brand new era. Have some brand new beats.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I don't screen that before. I mean, thank goodness Jacob doesn't come out with like obscenities.
Yeah, take that, Greta Van Fleet, what you got on Jacob, huh?
Yeah, let me hear that again.
TikTok, Instagram. Yes, baby. Tweets for a brand new era. Have some brand new beats.
Wow, brand new era.
Yeah, drop the 4 and drop the beat. Yeah.
Drop the beat. Yeah. If people spot interesting Survivor social media clips, please tag me. I post a thread in the Facebook group for the Robbins Podcast patrons, and the patrons do a good job of flagging stuff. But please, if there's anything I'm missing, let me know. We're looking at Instagrams, Instagram stories, TikTok. You see interesting news happening, please let us know. Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
All right, Pooya. Let's see. This was one that I got to this morning, and Chantel Smith tweeted this out. This was very nice. Chantel tweeted her day, what she does. She gave us the order of her day, and so that order includes, I guess, an emoji for the sun comes up. She's yawning. 2 cups of coffee. Phone goes, Rob has a podcast.
Hey, bright and early. Love that.
And then goes, arrow goes to, Rob has a website. Wow. Double mention.
All right. Love it.
Then Shan is hitting Twitter cast pages.
Okay, so her fellow castmates see what's up with their tweets. Okay, cool.
Yes. Cool. Then Instagram cast pages.
All right, got to see the photos. Okay. What did the outfit of the day? What's going on
then
there?
Check this out, Pooya. This one's wild. You're never going to guess where Shan goes next.
Okay.
If I give you a million guesses.
Let's see. We did Twitter. We did the Rob's website.
I'll give you a hint.
Podcast.
I'll give you a hint. It's somebody's TikTok page.
Okay. Can I get a couple questions? Maybe 2 questions? Okay.
Yes.
Someone's TikTok page. Castmates TikTok page.
No.
A alumni's TikTok page.
I will give you unlimited guesses. You can have 20 questions.
Okay, so I'm relatively tapped into like the Survivor TikTok. Okay. So who's TikTok?
Going.
Who's TikTok? No.
You know what? I want to play. Let's play this out. And how many questions until you get there? Keep going.
All right, cool. Okay, so I said alumni and you said no. Okay.
No.
So no to alumni. No to cast. The Survivor TikTok page, like the official TikTok page.
No.
Do they have one? No. Okay.
They do have one, and it is not that.
Is it like a celebrity who like watches Survivor's TikTok page?
I would say that my answer is no.
What's left? Any like people from like the Survivor world, like the Survivor community people, like someone from that world's TikTok page. Like
yes.
Okay. And it's not you.
No.
And it's, I mean, at this point, I'd have to take like individual guesses of like who's a more prominent like following on Twitter, maybe who then would. Rob, just tell me. We're gonna be here for like minutes.
Bloomberg's TikTok page.
David Bloomberg or like CNBC Bloomberg?
I'm under the impression David Bloomberg's TikTok page, not not Michael Bloomberg.
David Bloomberg TikToks?
I mean, perhaps it could be that the outlet Bloomberg could have a prominent TikTok account.
I'm looking this up. I need fact checking right now. I did not know David Bloomberg be TikToking.
Not only does he does he have one, it is the fifth thing that Shan is checking on her social media journey.
Yeah, it's the best thing in waking up is David Bloomberg's TikTok in my cup. Like that doesn't fit. What? Oh, there we go.
Let's call back to Reem from Snoop Dogg's TikTok.
Yeah. All right. So David has, oh my God, I did not, he has bear tick. When did this happen?
Yeah. Well, now that he has Shan's support.
I mean, that's an endorsement and a half. That's bigger than Greta Van Fleet getting a shout out from Jeff Probst.
Who got the more unexpected shout out?
100% here. Yes.
The TikTok mogul, David Bloomberg.
Who would have thunk it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are right, Rob. We would have been here for this would have broken the record. Move over, number one Survivor Heroes versus Villains. We would have been here for hours.
Okay. Then after Bloomberg's TikTok page.
Oh yeah, there's more. Yes, of course.
Shan goes to Lauren's TikTok page. Okay, makes sense.
Lauren is second?
Sixth overall. Then Survivor CBS Instagram page.
Okay.
Then a Google search, quote, Shan Survivor 41.
Okay.
Then Survivor Facebook page.
Ooh.
Then 3 skulls.
Shan, after you go to the Facebook page, you go back to the Bloomberg page for a palate cleanse. You go back to the positive.
And then
place.
Shan says, rinse, repeat.
Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot of you content per day. But I mean, I'd be the exact same. I'd be looking at it.
Can I tell you that I mean that basically, I mean, Shan is being very forthcoming about what her day is like. So during the time that I was on Survivor the Amazon, like my entire day was like I would go to the office, like wake up, get coffee, go to my desk at work, and then refresh Survivor sucks 5 million times a day, whatever the other websites were, certainly the reality news online. So I guess I did my share of David Bloomberg lookups during the time, and just totally just be refreshing. I think I got zero work done in the 3 or 4 months that Survivor the Amazon was on TV.
And you were on TV and you did that. When So You Think was happening back in my podcast origin days, I looked at everything. If there was a mention of RHAP, I was reading it to see if anyone had any, I was trying to figure out how can I better position myself and do better in the podcast.
What did you find, Pooya?
I didn't find much. There was quite a bit of he's okay. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's the most offensive thing. That's fine. And then it was just Liana from the top rope in my DM being like, look at the camera when you speak. It's weird that you don't look in the camera when you're talking.
So I didn't know this. So what during the highly controversial So You Think You Could podcast competition.
Yeah.
So Liana used to give you coaching advice.
Yeah, so I DM'd Liana first and I was like, hey, just wanted to say, hope you're doing well. I'm rooting for you in your group. And then she said, oh, same. And then she lied to me because she didn't vote for me. I found out later. But when we were talking, I was like, yeah, you're amazing. I was like, I think you're great. And she was like, you're good. Look in the camera more. And I was like, all right, I'll take that advice. And I tried doing that a lot more in my second appearance than I did in the first one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good. I don't remember that being a thing of it's the doesn't look into the camera guy.
Right. I mean, and I feel like I used to be more so aware of needing to look at the camera. I feel like it's become less important as times have gone on, especially when there's so many other things going on when you're doing a live podcast. But here, Liana, this one's for you. This is looking at the camera. This is for you.
Cool. Okay. All right. So that was a great tweet by Shan. Let me talk about some news from this week, because that first off, there was an article that not to get to Meta, and I'm not talking about the Facebook group, there was an article that from something that Parvati had said when she was on Rob as a podcast a couple of weeks ago. I was surprised, ended up getting picked up as turned into a news article of its own, that Parvati had talked about how when she was on Survivor for season 40, she didn't want to wear her underwear. She wanted to wear a bathing suit, and they made her, and they basically turned that quote into a whole article from like 2 weeks ago on the people at insider.com. They've written a couple of different articles about the Survivor contestants not getting their bathing suits, but it seems like that they've been really working this beat, because there was another article from Paige Di Fiore, a different author that wrote the article about Parvati being quoted on Rob as a podcast. And this article talks about Tyler Perry says he suggested Survivor make swimsuits look worn and tattered, but denies telling Jeff Probst to get rid of them altogether. Tyler Perry is fighting back against the allegations that he's the one that told Jeff Probst to lose the bathing suits, Pooya.
So let me get this straight. So Tyler Perry's saying that, hey, I didn't say get rid of the swimsuits. I said take them and make them look dirty, essentially, right? Like worn out. What? Because like that's gonna happen naturally, and so,
Insider.com got a hold of Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry said, I don't know what season it was. I can't remember, but there was one season where there were brand new swimsuits in the middle of the season. I sent Jeff a text saying, hey, this looks odd. If you're surviving, where are these brand new swimsuits coming from?
Listen, you can survive and also thrive. Like that is a possibility in this world. I mean, and like obviously this, we jest, but also, there's a lot of people have talked about how, for like body hygiene and stuff, like this can cause problems to the body. So it shouldn't be the case. But also for me, it's like, if the biggest issue was that it takes you out of the moment, like, we're sitting on our couches eating shrimp rings. Like this is not, we're not like experiencing this life. We're just watching it.
Can I say that, look, Pooya, that I, have been in this podcast game for 11 years, and we get question that the listener, this community does not miss a beat. I cannot ever remember a time where people were like, hey, Rob, got a feedback question for you. Did the contestants get new bathing suits this week? I'm noticing that the bathing suits look brand new this week on the show. Did anybody else notice this? Not once, Pooya. Did anybody ever clock the Survivor contestants had new bathing suits, except, I guess, for Tyler Perry?
I mean, no one's watching this with keener eyes than Tyler Perry.
Maybe he's got like the 8K TV where he's picking this up. But I mean, not one thread on Reddit, not one voicemail, not one tweet. I never remember anybody ever clocking this.
Yeah, and word has it Tyler Perry's currently in the lead with the Rebus puzzles, because he's getting
game within the game
quick. He just sees things we don't.
Good game within the game this week, by the way.
It was very fun. I very much enjoyed trying to solve that one. It was great.
Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like that there's like now a he said between Tyler Perry and Jeff Probst, where Jeff Probst allegedly had said that it was Tyler Perry who said get rid of the bathing suits. Tyler Perry said no, I just said make them dirty.
I love that this is, because this was how many years ago was it now? Where
2018.
Yeah. So what, Tyler Perry, you waited 3 years to be like, it wasn't me? Like, your defense comes now? Come on. Come on. We know it to be true. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then I guess they reached out to Jeff. Jeff had a statement to the Insider that he said that Tyler Perry would never suggest an idea that would be detrimental to any player ever. We love receiving constructive feedback from former players. Survivor is always evolving, and insight from someone who has actually lived the experience can be very helpful. There are often ideas that at one time seemed important, but now need to be updated. Regarding the issue of the swimsuits, I first need to clear up the comments attributed to Tyler Perry. Tyler is one of the most compassionate humans I know, and his swimsuit idea had nothing to do with the players or whether they should receive swimsuits or anything like that. It was directly related to storytelling. I understand the issue has been brought up, and we will absolutely address it when we return to production. I'm confident we can find a suitable solution and resolve all of the issues.
Perfect. So it sounds like come Survivor 43 Paper Scissors Rock, we'll be back with the swimsuits then, right?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And don't blame Tyler Perry anymore.
They're really like, listen, Tyler Perry, leave him alone. He's fine. Please, we beg.
Just this story really blew up this week.
I'm glad. It feels like this season it came up a little bit of early season, but then this week it really like happened. So,
Pooya, do you think that anything you said on this podcast will become newsworthy? Did you make any headlines?
Listen, if I do, first of all, hello everybody. Second of all, if you like the idea, it was mine. If not, it was Rob's. There you go.
Yeah. And then also here's another newsworthy item. Tiffany made news this week. Xander may have stolen her Mergatory, but she got the attention of Jewish Survivor fans this week when she said this.
Baruch Hashem, we're eating.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem.
So I did see the article. Is it the first time anyone's ever said it on the show?
I believe so. And I think to my knowledge, the first time that anybody has spoken any Hebrew on the show. But I have to say that, our own correspondent who's supposed to be watching this stuff for us at Kiev 26, I feel like asleep at the switch, because he was live tweeting the episode. He's tweeted, I think Jeff just broke the fifth wall. Good tweet, but I can't believe it. Everybody else was on this. Did Akiva fall asleep halfway through the episode?
Kiev, what's the deal, Kiev? What's the deal? How? I don't know, man. Sometimes I'm like, Kiev's on it. And
maybe he was listening to the new Greta Van Fleet album.
Yeah, he was in between track 4 and 5 when this happened and missed it.
We'll see. And again, we have not recorded this week's Robin and Keith Need a podcast, so we'll see if maybe saving his commentary for RHAP.
Yeah, ask for his take a statement on the next round. Like, hey, why'd you miss this?
Yes, but a ton of people reached out to Tiffany. And she tweeted back, thank you for all the kind words. This is just one of many beautiful messages that she got. It's important for people to feel seen. And so a lot of the Jewish Survivor fans reaching out to Tiffany. And so it's been a mitzvah.
I love that. Makes me happy.
Okay. So nice job there for Tiffany. And then also this week, let's see. Not a lot in the ways of Survivor Halloween costumes, but Bryce got a lot of attention this week. Did you happen to see Bryce as the confused goat on AstroTurf?
I did catch this, and that's why there's no Halloween news, Rob. It's done. Bryce won. No one else needs to try. This was phenomenal. It's so well thought out. It's got so many little pieces to it. I loved everything about it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can bring this up here in the on the YouTube stream here with Pooya. And so here we go. Here is let me bring in this is Bryce as the confused goat on the AstroTurf. And so let me just bring open this tab, and here you go. Here he is. Here is the purple pants badass, Bryce Isaiah.
Love it. Oh, so perfect.
Yeah.
And this the whole picture looks great. Yeah. Bryce, 15 out of 10, Bryce. This is awesome.
I am as confused as a goat on
AstroTurf.
Nailed it. Hashtag Happy Halloween. Hashtag Survivor. Hashtag Beware Advantages. Hashtag Idle. Hashtag Knowledge is Power. Hashtag Steal a Vote. Hashtag Secret Phrases. Hashtag Goat. Hashtag Broccoli. Hashtag Butterfly. Hashtag AstroTurf. Hashtag Halloween Costume. Hashtag Halloween.
That's the way to do it. Perfect.
Yes. So there you go. So everybody's loving Bryce's costume. Bryce has been going back to the animal costume. He was the tiger from Tiger King last year.
Yup.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
And how wild is it that a second season of that's happening this year?
I know. They just went back for more found footage.
Yeah. Somehow uncovered them. But yeah.
Yep. Erica was pumped up this week. She had a big week on the episode. She tweeted gets exiled, and she has the lady who's like making like a face like something stinks. And then audience gets to know me. The lady is smiling.
It's perfect. Yeah. This was Erica's biggest episode so far.
Mhm.
And it's great to see. I mean, couldn't have come at a better time, right? As merge is about to happen. So
Yeah. Jeff actually did respond to somebody's tweet this week that somebody went back and forth that he actually responded to a couple of tweets this week.
Ooh.
So here, let me see. Maybe Jeff did stick a toe in the water to see if anybody liked the new twist this week. Here's what Jeff had to say about how what transportation looks like on Survivor. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Somebody said, still waiting for the cowboy hat Jeff to return. We need to see him in Survivor 42. Jeff said, I'm guessing you want to see it return so you can mock it, which is completely appropriate. So I guess good sport there on the Jeff and the cowboy hat.
nice guy, Jeff. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And Jeff also said, I love doing these vote deliveries. We just ran out of fun ideas open to suggestions. People wanted Jeff to bring back the water skiing, but I don't think they're going to do it this season.
I don't think so. Think so. But I mean, you could redo some of the old ones. You know, it'll work. It's been a minute.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Exactly.
Okay. And then a lot of people on the Survivor Reddit, they were having a lot of fun with Erica time traveling. They've been making all sorts of photoshops of people of Erica altering the Survivor space-time continuum.
Okay. All right.
Including here's Erica, a Hollywood flashback to Erica became the first Survivor winner 20 years ago. Here's one of Erica, 3-time Survivor winner Erica, to compete on Australian Survivor.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm seeing what have you done, Erica? Survivor. 5 reasons why Zane is now the greatest winner of all time, and 5 why it's still chicken.
Here's one. Colby and Jerry Donaldson expecting 4th child.
This is wild. Oh, this is such a great meme. This is great meme content.
Yeah. Anything? Do you have any requests, Pooya? Would you like to see any of the space-time continuum altered?
Yes. Can we go back and change the fate of the advantage get-in in Game Changers for Suri, please and thank you.
That would be good. Yeah, that would be good. Let's change that one. Yeah, here I see her in the Borneo picture. So yeah, Erica is ready to have all sorts of adventures through Survivor Space Time.
And we love it. You know, move over, Infinity Gauntlet. There's a new big tool in
New
town.
queen in
the
town.
Hourglass. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Pooya, anything else you want to talk about this week?
Honestly, no. What I would leave it with is I'm having a lot of fun. You know, I want to be reminded, and I do, that we didn't have Survivor for a whole year and change. So to get it back on our screens is great. To be able to be picky about all the too many twists, it feels natural. We're back in a big way, and I'm very happy, and I can't wait to see how the season plays out. And I can't wait to see whoever's the runner-up of the season to win the draft for someone that's not me. It's great times.
Yeah. And I just hope that, anybody that's like to discourage, from the production standpoint, look, everybody loves everybody that's watching and complaining, like, are people that love Survivor, and they just want the show to be as good as it can be, and just because the fans don't necessarily love everything that the show attempts. I had an idea of to try to give like a report card to the twists on this season. Do you want to do that real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here, let me throw some things out at you, and you give me the report card. Here's the Survivor midterm report card for the twists. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's start with Shot in the Dark.
I mean, Shot in the Dark attends class, but doesn't say much, doesn't participate. And not seen Shot in the Dark shine yet. D-.
See, I feel like incomplete.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
We have not seen enough yet.
Yeah, Shot in the Dark needs to put in some work.
Okay. Beware Advantage. Let's just talk about Beware Advantage of you lose your vote when you you have to complete a task. Let's separate it from the actual mechanism.
Okay, so we're separating into two different entities?
Yes.
Okay, so one is losing your vote, right?
Right. The Beware Advantage is that it's a you lose your vote, like you pick up the idol, but you there is a cost to getting the idol.
Okay. Interesting mechanic. Did come into play. C-, C+, I could go either way.
Yeah, I'll say it's a B. Beware Advantage. I like that. That there is like some like maybe you don't necessarily like that you're pausing, you're making a choice. Going back to what Steven had to say of like we like to see the players make choices. So the player has to decide, is it worth it for me to pick up the idol? I think we got some good mileage out of it. That Jeannie found the Beware Advantage. That hey, I'm not going to pick it up. I don't want to lose my vote. Like caused her to get voted out of the game because she didn't pick it up. So I think that the Beware Advantage is fine. What about the mechanism of the phrase that pays? Saying wacky phrases.
Wacky phrases is good for the one time. I feel like if you're the same person saying the same phrase every time, it's too obvious and too bait and then less fun. So that knocks it a little.
I think probably gave us our biggest pop of the season when this year.
As confused as a goat on AstroTurf.
With an assist to the edit. I'll give that a B also. That I think that's sort of like gave us some of the most iconic moments of the season of them trying to do that stuff. So that was all a B for me. So that was all good. Shipwheel Island.
Shipwheel Island attended class, was fine, was there. Wasn't too heavy-handed on the episode, gave us some good moments in the Shannon Liana of it all. I love that. Even the Evie and Deshaun like link up could pay off, could be worth something. So I liked all of that. I think we saw it a couple times too many, maybe, but I'm not offended by it. It's fine.
I would say I would be a little harder on this. I think that maybe I'd give it a C- overall, because I feel like that I like the idea of bringing the people together to do this, but I think that the mechanism of like what they're doing has been kind of convoluted. I think that that's been one of the hardest things to follow in terms of like, okay, if I turn my wheel and they don't turn their wheel. And so I think that the players figured it out. I think the mechanism was complicated. It hasn't really yielded any like big result or any payoff to it. I'm even confused about how they're selecting the people to go there. So like I feel like that I like give us two people doing something, but I feel like this ain't it.
Is Shipwheel Island gone in the merge? Or
Who
do you
knows?
think Shipwheel Island's back?
I don't know. I think we're still going to see something else with Shipwheel Island.
Yeah, I feel like one does not simply put a ship wheel and not use it multiple times. I agree with your assessment though, and you're great. So we're good.
Yes. Okay. Any other twists before we get to the merge episode?
Knowledge is power.
Oh, knowledge is power. Yeah. What Well, what? Let me hear what you think about knowledge is power.
So I like the twist if it's not very clear that 3 people have something on the show right now. The using the phrase thing was fun, I agree, but then when you compound it with the knowledge is power, that's overpowered. Because and like I like the recipient of it, right? I like Liana, so I'm cool with it. However, I would have liked to see Liana play detective and try and figure out who's got the power. As an Among Us player, that's what I live for, the deduction. So when you rob us of the deduction, now it's like, well, I know it's either Xander or Nasir that I'm going to steal from. So that I don't love.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I will say that if it was in another season, I would like it more. I'm not as bummed out about they can't lie like Steven is. I'm with you. So I'll say I'll give this a D.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that because I love it's like you have one shot. It's an 8-mile moment. You go up to someone, you're like, do you have an advantage or an idol? And if you do, you're caught. You say yes, you give it over. I love that.
Yeah. It's like, well, you only knew I had it because I had to say the thing.
Right. That I don't like. That I do not like. So yeah, no, D is fine.
Yes. And also that the players don't know that there is a knowledge, if you have this in the game, Jeff should say there, like somebody in the game, the people should know that, hey, there's a thing this season. There's an advantage called the knowledge is power. So if somebody knows you have an idol, they can take it from you. Like, oh, okay, better not let people know I have an idol. Or, hey, people know I have an idol, so I better give my idol to somebody else.
Right. Because I did see some theories flying about of like, what if someone that like Xander like gives up his idol to someone else after he finds this out. It's like 15 steps, but I think it would have been best delivered if someone figures out that someone else has it, and then we have that shock moment of like, oh damn.
Okay. Let's split the merge stuff into 2 parts. Play for the merge. Basically a half the merge crew is safe. What's the letter grade for that?
This is fine. I do not mind this, but because half the losers don't get to eat, it gets knocked down a little bit for me. Let's give it a C-.
Okay. See, I'm very high on this. I'll give it an A-. I like this idea of like, okay, let's, we have a lot going on at the merge. Let's sort of simplify it down to like these particular targets. Kind of helps the person who is like the athlete of, if you are like good enough to like be a person who might get picked off at that first vote, maybe help your team. You have a shot to help your team win the immunity there. So I like this. But now then here's the hourglass of destiny.
Oh my God, Rob. I mean, letter grade wise, I don't know. But ultimately, as a viewer, because it negates everything that led up to it, and ultimately makes the episode a little bit of a didn't matter result. I don't know. C.
Yeah, okay. I give it an F.
I don't know. F. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm very bad with letter grades. I grew up on percentages for grades, so I'm bad at the letter stuff. I'm okay with F. I mean, ultimately, again,
this is the one. This is the one. I think this was the this one was too much. The hourglass of destiny to flip this over. This just feels like that. This is less of a game mechanic. This is more of like a shock moment for TV.
Exactly. And there's no shock when the results are, would you like safety or would you like to be unsafe in the game? I feel like it's foregone that it'll be smashed, but we'll see.
It's just basically like we're just looking to like get a reaction out of the 6 players who are going to find out they're not safe at the next immunity challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see.
Okay. All right. Pooya, well, this was fantastic today. That really the time flew.
It did.
It really did. Pooya, where can people keep up with what you're doing?
Let's see. We can find me on Twitter at Pooyaism. They can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Pooya. I do stream about 3-4 times a week. Come through, say hi. Would appreciate that. And as far as if you're looking for podcast needs from my end, I got you. I do host a 90 Day Fiance podcast, 90 Day Fiance RHAP-up. going in, week out, bring a new guest in to talk all about the Hot Mess Express. That is 90 Day. So you can find me there. And also, if you want to find more of me and Liana collaborating on nonsense, come over to the Masked Singer RHAP-up, where we talk about the wild and weird show that is The Masked Singer.
I have not kept up with Masked Singer news this season. Could you give me one name of? You don't even have to say who they were if anybody's super worried about spoiled. One name that you heard from, or one name that's been revealed that I would know.
Rob Schneider.
Okay, there you go. Interesting.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, Pooya. Great work today. This was a lot of fun on the feedback show. Of course, we're going to have a lot more fun on Monday night when we're going to hear from Mary Kwiatkowski. Frail Mary is going to join us to take your phone calls or video calls, I guess, on Monday night. We'll send out the link to the patrons. Of course, Monday is November 1st. Great day to jump on board and become a patron. You can give the Rob Has a Podcast Patreon a try. This month, there's no commitment. Cancel anytime you want, but why would you? We're going to work on a lot of fun stuff here in the month of November. So check that out at robhasawebsite.com/patron. Of course, we're going to have Rob and Akiva need a podcast, and we'll be talking about some Olsen twin movies. It Takes Two this weekend as well. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for checking us out here today on the feedback show. Send us your feedback questions every week. RHAP-ups.com/voicemail. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.